Hey, it's Adon here, adoncoin.com, where I teach you how to play in DADGAD guitar. This lesson we're going to learn a song called Captain Thompson, and it's an old Irish song, usually sung unaccompanied in the Shannon style, but for my 2014 album called If You Only Knew, I recorded with some guitar on it, and I thought I'd teach you that as well. If you haven't listened to it yet, I will leave it in the description below. There's two videos. One's nice and reserved, and the other is a bit mad, so you can check them out and come back and learn the chords. I'll show you the intro and the verse chords as well. So I'm going to teach it in the key of D, and you might notice in the video below that it's even lower. I tuned my guitar from DADGAD down to C, G, C, F, G, C, I believe. So nice and low tones. I'll go through the intro and the first verse here just so you have an idea of what we're going to go through. My mind being much inclined to cross the raging main, I left my aged parents in sorrow, grief and pain. On board the Fame we thus became, as passengers do be, along with Captain Thompson to the land of liberty. So let's go through that first bit, that first little intro bit. So it's this descending line. So I'll bring up those chords now. So we start off with this D minor. So first finger on the 10th fret of that G string, third finger on the 12th fret of that middle D string. Rest of the strings are nice and open, and we start kind of walking down. So we go from here to this C shape. So second finger on the 9th fret, third finger on the 10th fret of that D string, and you can have everything else open. You can play it with your first and second if you like, whatever suits you best. I like to play it with my second and third finger. Then from here we're jumping down to this A minor shape. So first finger on the 5th fret of that G, third finger on the 7th fret of that middle D. And we do that 3 times. We go 1, 2, 3. Yeah. And then we have this walk down. So I'll go through those chords one more time. We have this one up on the 12th fret, third finger on the 10th fret, and third finger on the 7th fret there. And then we have this walk down, which is an octave walk down. So we have second and third finger on the 7th fret. Just taking that shape, sliding it down to the 5th fret, and then down to the 3rd fret, and then we have a D modal. So that's just. So let's add some rhythm onto this. So it's a 6/8 in 6/8 time to tune. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All down upstrokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'll play that. So I will count that out as we go along. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can take your time with that, get the metronome out, and kind of take it. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you want to have, you can play those chords individually one at a time. Bam, bam, bam. I like to do kind of a slide. Bam. It's just a little subtle change, but it's just a slide down rather than individual chords. So let's get into the meat of the song now and get into the main chords. So that's just the intro we covered there. So one other thing is for the main chord, D minor chord, we're gonna, it's kind of a D modal, D minor. So we're moving from this C note here on the 3rd fret, and we're hammering on. It's just something you can do if you like. So you're going from your 2nd finger to your 4th finger on the 5th fret. Just kind of gives a nice drone and pushes the song along for it. So I'll bring up the chord charts now for the first section. So, and I'll move over here. So we have this D modal to start. So my mind being much inclined to cross the raging. So this is a D with an F in the bass. It's just putting your second finger down on that third fret. Cross the raging, and then we're up to this A minor. So that's the first section there. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, A minor. Cool. And then we're on to the next section. So that's a walk down from this D with an F in the bass, and then it's like an E minor with an added D in there, and then you have back to your D modal. So this section alone would be my mind being much inclined to cross the raging main. I left my aged parents in sorrow, grief and pain. So it's just two bass line walk-ups. So you can see that D, F, A, and then D, F, E, D at the end of each section there. So you're holding on to that D modal for most of it. And then so there are the two sections. And then we can add in the next section now. So on board the Fame, this is an F. On board the Fame, so that's second, third, and fourth finger across that third fret, and adding in your first finger on the second fret of that G string. On board the Fame, then down to the E minor. We thus became as passengers do be, and that's the same as before. So passengers do be, D with an F in the bass, up to the A minor. And then this is the section where we go high, along with Captain. This is a D minor, right up on the 12th fret. Third and fourth fingers are on the 12th fret. First finger is on the 10th fret of that G string. Along with Captain Thompson. It's a B flat major. So third and fourth fingers are on the 8th fret of that low D and low A. Second finger on the 7th fret. Along with Captain Thompson to the land of A minor, liberty. That's your C up here. Same shape as your B flat. So I go through that last section. Along with Captain Thompson to the land of liberty. So that A minor and C come quite quick together. So maybe we can try and add those two together, and I'll go through the verse. I'll sing it once, and then I'll count it out together. So, my mind being much inclined to cross the raging main, I left my aged parents in sorrow, grief and pain. This is the F. On board the Fame, we thus became as passengers do be, up high, along with Captain Thompson to the land of liberty. And you're back into that riff at the start. So I'll count it out from the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. D minor, D modal, D, F, A, D, D, and F, E, D, F, and E minor, and D, and F, and A, and D, B flat, A minor, C, and D. One more time. I'm being much inclined to cross the raging A minor. And F and E and D and F and A up high, D minor. Hey, I just wanted to give you something a little extra here. So just in case you're playing with the capo and you want to play in different keys, this jump from a D to the high D is going to be pretty hard without a cutaway on your guitar. So I thought I'd give you some alternatives to some of the shapes. For example, this A minor shape can be played down here. So that's first and second finger on the second fret of that D and G. To get the minor, you throw in that third there. So that's the third finger on the third fret of the high A. So that's your alternative to the A minor, which will work perfectly well with a capo. For the B flat chord, you can play it. It's just like a power chord. You have the first finger, first fret of that low A, third and fourth finger on the third fret of that D and G. So that's going to be your alternative to the B flat up here. And then you have alternative to the C shape. It's going to be just right here. So that's second finger on the third fret of that low A, first finger on the second fret of the middle D, third finger on the third fret of that high A. And that's your alternative to your C. And then for when you're doing that big jump up to the D minor, just play your D minor down here. And that'll work just fine. So you can throw on a capo, play those chords as alternatives so you can play in different keys. Hope that helped. Cool. So I'd say if you didn't get that, I'll have all of these chord charts printable on my website. I'll leave that below as well so you can check it out and take your time with it. And I'd suggest just getting the metronome out or maybe playing along with the version that I have below as well. So I hope you got something out of that. If you did, give it a like or thumbs up and leave a comment. I'm happy to help out, and I will see you on the next one. Do subscribe to the channel. I'll talk to you then.